Australia's insane house prices. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian.Heise here with my morning stein of coffee, and I thought we'd have a look at this article written by Jason Murphy from news.com.au because, frankly, it is it paints a very, very clear picture of just the insanity of our house prices. And for those foreign viewers that we have, prepare to be shocked at what you can get for your money in the city compared to some nicer parts of Australia. Now, I've had viewers who've done the green change, who've gone to the country. One viewer sent me, he bought a nice little church, out in rural Victoria, refurbishing it all with a little outdoor, outhouse. Looks beautiful, looks fantastic. And now that we have, most of the civilization has experienced working from home, if they could, a lot of people have experienced homeschooling. That might be an option, doing a green change. Personally, I'd love to get a little weekender, just a little thing a bit further out so you can get out of the city, go back and forth. We'll have to see. So house prices in Australia. Why people are happier in the country than in the city. Australia has been the lucky country for decades, but two pictures have proven why life in our biggest city is making us miserable. And the World Happiness Report is out, and it contains a fascinating tidbit about how Australians might just make themselves happier. Overall, the news in the World Happiness Report is bad for Australia. We are getting glummer. Last time this report came out, we were ranked 11th in the world for happiness. This time, we've slipped to 12th, beaten out by the rich but tiny country of Luxembourg. Good old Luxembourg, the best country to play in Hearts of Iron 4. The World Happiness Report is based on an enormous global survey that uses the established methodology for measuring happiness, asking people how satisfied they are with their life. When you dive into the details, you can see Australia is getting less happy because its cities are getting less happy. There's the question. Are you happy, everyone? Dwell on that. I think a lot of people who have been, forced into house arrest and have for the first time managed to step off the treadmill, step off the rat race, they're going to be reflecting on their lives going, why am I doing this? I never get any time with my kids. I never get any time with my family. I'm just working to pay the man for the house. I think we'll see a change. I think we'll see people step out of this and go, you know what? No, I'm not going to keep going. It'll be interesting to see if we see articles more and more about people changing their lives because of this lockdown. So happiness in Sydney fell more than happiness in Baghdad in the most recent period. Melbourne's did too. Yeah, but it's Sydney, guys. Sydney's not... Sydney's a great place to visit. Let's just say that. What can we do about it? Part of the answer is to build more infrastructure. More rail, more homes, more hospitals and schools. But that just causes a lot of construction congestion. The problem is, it turns out, is not just Australia. Around the world, people in richer countries who are living in rural areas are happier and more satisfied than people who live in big cities. Well, yes, probably because you have room to breathe. Room to breathe. Even I here in the suburbs of Brisbane, I can go out into the backyard. I was just standing there before with my coffee and just admiring the trees in my garden, thinking, I've got to flatten all that out. I've got to build that fence. But still, it's relaxing, having a little bit of nature around, a little enclave of your own. So this suggests a tantalizing solution. Maybe we should move to the country. As the next chart shows, richer countries are overall happier. They are closer to the right-hand side, with happiness scores over 7. You're much better off living in Australia than Zimbabwe. If we look at the vertical axis, which shows the differences between urban and rural areas, we see that people in poorer countries are happier by moving to the city. Well, they've got more opportunities. If you live in Zimbabwe, you're better off in the city than the country. But if you live in Australia, it seems the reverse is true. Country living seems to be correlated with being slightly happier. And here's the thing, country living in Australia, we've got country family members that live in the country. It's not that remote, okay? It is not that remote. You've got access to all the services. You just got to drive a bit more. And you probably have no traffic, so it's easier to drive around. Internet's still as fast often. So there we go. The one exception is Finland, which is also the happiest country in the world. Something is going on in the capital city of Helsinki, which makes the citizens very, very pleased with themselves. You're better off living in Helsinki rather than in rural Finland with the reindeer. Although the larger cities constitute, well, I think that probably has to do with, I'd like to see a comparison between Finland and Sweden, and particularly certain cities. You know, but can't talk about those things. Although the larger cities constitutes the driving force in developed economies and are seen as attractive places to live, the average level of reported well-being shows evidence of decline, says author of the World Happiness Report. Everyone knows that incomes are high in the cities and that there is access to an amazing amount of options in terms of shopping, cultural and medical services, but somehow that's not enough. Urban happiness benefits may be offset by the happiness cost for a large part of the population, such as high costs of living, longer commutes, greater inequality, social isolation, noise and pollution. This is the big thing. How many of you have lived in the cities and not even got to know your neighbours, not even known your neighbours? Particularly if you're living in an apartment building where everyone's renting, people are changing, you know, they change so often. Or in the suburbs, if hopefully you're surrounded by owners as opposed to renters, you might actually get to know them because they're there longer. You know, we finally had an owner moving in next door. He's moved in, he's got rid of his renters. There were so many people renting in and out of that place. In Australia, the high cost of living seems especially pertinent. The price of housing in our cities has gone quite mad, and it makes country living look relatively affordable. So for around $760,000 in Sydney, you can get a one-bedroom apartment. There you go. And this is with a fisheye lens to make it look wider. But still, there you got a plant, you got a balcony, all white and sterile, and you can tell this has been staged for real estate photography. So for $735,000, so for less, you can get this 5-bedroom house with a swimming pool in the New South Wales country town of Parks. I mean, that's nice. I like that. I really like that. Moving to the country has a venerable history in this country. The sea change is well established, and the so-called tree change is very popular too. But it has always been the preserve of wealthy, retired people and artists, potters, poets. Most of us have to live in the city to work, or at least we did. And here's the same point that I'm making. The pandemic has shaken up the world of work, and working from home now has proven doable for many jobs. It might be worth asking, is moving to the country actually possible? Could we make it work? Imagine waking up to the sound of birds and opening up your curtains to a view of the trees, not electricity wires. It might be the best thing you ever do for your own well-being, and that's backed by data. And Jason's right on that. He's right. I mean, have you considered doing a tree change, moving out to the country? But it isn't all roses and happiness too. You know, there are issues living in the country. You've got farmers who are quite self-isolated. You've got, you know, great travel distances. You've got less access to facilities. We'll see. We will see. Maybe I should start looking at out of Toowoomba. What do you reckon? Get a nice little place out there. Still, it's not really the country. It is a big city. You got access to everything, but you can get some big blocks. You can get some big land, nice places out there, beautiful views. Just hope the government doesn't change your entire properties requirements. And there's some issues out there too. But what do you reckon, guys? What would you rather? A 1-bedroom place in Sydney or a 5-bedroom house with a pool? As always, let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. If you're a fan and want to support the content I create here, there are a few ways you can. You can join the channel on YouTube or Patreon. You can support us via our affiliate links at Amazon or eBay or Independent Reserve and Kucoin. You can buy our merch from HeiseSays. You can use Gold Pass from the Perth Mint or support us via PayPal. Take care, have a great day, and I'll see you next time.